don't care what his position is based upon his political motives.
Tell everybody how much you love A10 News Media Group.
A10 News Media Group. I love them because they got the message to sports Negro up in California for burning them jockeys from under the bridge and sending them to Flint because nobody recognizes the dark man no more. They rather to burn them out and talk about NRA, Negro racket ass, and you ain't getting no.
Yes, I had a cocktail.
That's don't no voice.
No. Good morning. I was here.
They already had commented.
I told y'all can't believe Mickey.
They got a better chance to getting the truth from me.
Lord have mercy.
Salty Chef. Good morning. Meat Freak. Jessica Stewart. Lorna. Sherry Allen. Love Mama. Where Love Mama from, Winters?
Texas.
Maryville, Indiana.
I was gonna say that.
By the way of the shy though.
Okay.
We got Abundant Fate.
I was gonna say
that. You know what I'm saying? We got Michael Behringer in the building. Donnell Meredith, James. Okay, James Cochran in the building. He always rolls.
James, that's
where
my
Vincent
boy.
Day
James
from Winter.
Vicente,
where he from?
Texas.
Nola.
Everybody from Texas today.
Nola.
I'm gonna get it right.
Lenore Seal in the building. Elizabeth Finney. Andre Holland, Cassandra Scott. What Tamia Brown from? Tamaya from?
Texas by way of the D.
Okay, she in the D. She in the D. Good morning, Tia Harris. Miss J. Richburg. Where's she from? Pittsburgh.
Texas.
Philly. Connie Wiz. We got Rose Merrill in the building. Where Avis Hopkins from?
Texas.
From Miami. Terrible.
There's a lot of Texas in the house.
Man, them people ain't from there. Avis from Florida. Jaleesa Mayfield, Michelle Pfeiffer. Where Michelle Pfeiffer from?
Texas. Hey, First Lady.
Where Otis Johnson from?
Alabama.
Okay, you knew that one because I put his up there. I was trying to
I
help
wasn't
you.
even looking.
I was trying to help you. Okay, we see OG Wig in the building. Sis Audrey in the building.
Go on and put it up, Tony. We gonna wait. Tony going to tell the
Michael
people who
Clark
we got.
In the building. Where the good brother Marcus Fielder from?
Texas.
Fairfield, California. But he was raised in the Richmond. You don't know nothing about the Richmond.
I was close.
I got family in the Richmond.
I was close.
Almost so close to the Bay Area.
I was close.
We got Cassandra Jackson in the building. Flint Caskers in the building.
Oh, look, Trevor up too.
Everybody
didn't woke up.
Where Jonell Brock's from?
Texas.
California in the house. You are terrible. We
They
got
get close to
Catherine
Texas,
Mitchell,
right?
Tasha Lynn, Tracy
look what
Glenn.
Tony said. I knew Tony was going to say that. Welcome my good friend to the room, the Honorable Delrico J. Loyd, the very next mayor
Mr.
of
Wiggins,
Flint.
Salute, man.
You know he was going to put that up there.
You know, we got Casey in the building, Jade
Appreciate
Williams
the
in
love,
the building, Patrick Jean. Where Patrick Jean from?
Alabama.
Okay, you knew that because I think you saw the Roll Tide.
I know Patrick. Hey, Patrick.
You know, we almost, and let me get my share game on. Start sharing. Okay, we got Ronald M in the building.
Who?
Ronald Matura.
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess the name.
He's from Flint, by way of Texas.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Texas
I want to go to Texas.
And not one of my cousins' name is popped up there. And they know I'm on 18.
Well, you better get your cousins up
we
here.
got
Wake
Red
them
Snapper
up to
in the
share.
building. Good
Red
morning,
Snapper. That's my sister.
Oh,
from
sure.
Texas.
She's from Flint.
How you know? You don't know where she's from.
I know Snapper.
She could have been from Texas.
I've been on Snapper a long time. As my family would say, many moons.
Many moons ago.
Yeah. I've been on Snapper.
Many moons. So we're going to share this out real quick. Shouts out to A10 News Media Group.
Linda Flowers in the building. Sarah P.
He never lets me finish talking.
Handle your business.
Shouts out to A10 News Media Group and the greatest producer in the world, Mickey Jordan, a.k.a. Space Lee Sprocket.
You hear me?
With his hot rocket.
Oh.
Keep it in your socket. Oh, I'm rhyming today, y'all.
About to mess it up.
You got some money in your pockets.
Yeah.
We trying to get you.
Don't hurt them now. Don't give it all to them.
Don't give it all. That's enough.
Winners. That's enough.
He said that's enough. Don't
give it all
keep
to 'em.
going.
You have to
Okay.
pay for the rest.
Now, what David Adams from Winters?
Texas.
He really is from Dallas, Texas.
See, I knew somebody
We got
that was looking
Eleanor
something right.
Grover, Wicker in the building. Miss Spring Heron.
That's
And
my,
we got
that's
No
my
Name in the
church
building.
name.
We got Carolyn Hendricks in the building. We got the Miss LaWanna Tier in the building. And we're gonna see y'all at council today too.
Oh, yes, we do. Don't forget y'all.
It's a council meeting tonight.
Committee
Meeting.
Yeah.
We about
Genesee County, our meeting is tonight too.
we got to get y'all on the schedule too, so we can come over there and check
folks
y'all
come
out.
over there and see what's
Yeah,
going on.
18 gonna have to
And
check
where my
y'all out.
good brother Bilal from? He just tapped in. Yeah.
The Middle East.
How you know it?
But I don't know which ones.
Palestine.
Palestine.
That's what my
See,
brother
that's what I'm
Bilal
gonna
from.
say. That I was gonna
We
say
got
that.
Miss Mack that joined us this morning. Mark Walton, Jalissa Mayfield, Eartha Logan. Sometimes I have to
That's my
say it
18.
twice because it looked nice.
Oh, look at you rhyming. You rhyming too.
That's what it is. But we're gonna see how you gonna rhyme out of this discussion today.
We're not gonna argue today. Space League.
Not today.
We're not gonna argue for
But tomorrow.
Tomorrow it may be on and popping.
Anything possible.
It may be on and popping. Listen, everyone, if you like what you see, if you enjoy listening to 810, especially the bump, we got all our bumpers on here that we missed some of y'all last night on the evening bump. We're gonna wait. Oh, where everybody at? Our numbers seem to be stuck.
They coming.
They coming in the room. Okay. So y'all keep coming. Let me keep sharing.
Sonya in the building. Stanton Edwards in the building.
Who?
Shanton.
Sonya. Akins.
Her name is Sonya.
That's what I said. Sonya. What you thought I said?
I thought you were speaking a little Hebrew. I don't know what you. I couldn't make out that.
I'm not gonna
couldn't
do you
make out
today.
that.
I'm not gonna do you
That's
today.
that second part you did. Tony
Not gonna do you
Sims
today.
in the building. They said, "Good morning, hello nephew Delrico."
See, they go.
Auntie, I love you and miss you too. I promise I'm gonna have to reach out.
Oh, Tony Sims. Okay.
Reed Johnson in the building.
That's your
Aluna
nephew. Gotta be
Calloway,
good.
Lang, Linda Chilton. It always get better.
So, as I'm sharing along, because I need y'all to share too. I'm telling y'all like us, y'all got to share us. Get us out there. Because 18 trying to keep bringing y'all the best of the best of the best of the best. And we got to bring it home sometimes. We're going to have people all over the bump. They're going to be, private interviews, public interviews. We're going to be doing everything. And so, a lot of y'all watch in the morning. So, me and Mickey said, why not bring guests on in the morning too sometimes? Not all the time, but sometimes. And so, we have a person that has never graced the studios of A10 before in his life. It was too hot in the other one. So we're bringing him over here today with a little cooler. It's a little cooler. You can wear a suit, look real nice, because he's a Genesee County Commissioner. Former councilman of the First Ward. See, y'all didn't know that. A lot of y'all didn't know that. I'm going to give you some history here.
Yeah.
He's a minister. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a brother. He's a good friend. His name is Delrico J. Loyd, and he will be the next mayor of the city of Flint.
Oh, wow. Uh-oh. As I said,
And you forgot he was a gracious host when they held the 9th Ward.
Oh, the 9th Ward Forum over there at Word of Life.
Word of Life. Gracious
Right.
host.
That's my
Word of
person.
Life.
That's my people.
Word of Life.
Joe
Yeah.
Robertson, so-
Yes.
See?
I heard him speak powerful prayer yesterday
Yeah.
at a funeral.
Yeah.
And I said, I got to get over there.
Yeah.
I got to get over there and I got to see him.
He's an awesome guy. Awesome lady that passed away was like a mom to him.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
yeah. Awesome lady. They said she could cook too.
Miss Mary could. She
Yeah.
could throw down.
So
She could
was
throw
cooking
down.
for everybody.
With her eyes closed, she could cook. I mean, that's how good she could cook.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself to the
Good
bumpers.
afternoon, everybody. So excited to be here hanging out with the 810 News family, Mickey and Winners. Such an awesome job, such great advocates in the community. I'm just glad to be here hanging out with you all today. I'm supposed to be at work, So when you reached out, I said I'm gonna be on vacation.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got
so I'm
you.
not on the beach, but I am in the studio at 810 News Media.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
So,
right. That's
Put
right.
that out there. Shout
For
out.
sure, for
You
sure,
know.
for sure.
That's
Thank
right.
You, thank you, thank you.
You know.
We're glad to have you here.
So just hanging out, working hard on the Genesee County Commission, representing the people of Flint and Mount Morris Township, Beecher, and used to be formerly president of City Council. Started super early in politics.
How old were you, Delrico?
22 years old.
22.
Nobody stopped me.
They didn't tell you that you was about to mess up your life.
They didn't tell me the
Lord
road
have
wouldn't be
mercy.
easy.
At that age,
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, 22.
22.
So I was appointed at 22 to the city council in the first ward, and then 23 was elected vice president, and then 24 years old, I was the youngest ever president of the city council in this city, city we all love, at 24 years old. Then I took a little break from politics for a number of reasons. We can get into that. But I was out of politics on this for like 11 or 12 years.
I know.
I think a lot of people forgot that.
I know.
And so, but just coming back and just glad to be serving our people, the residents of the community, doing something I love, and just having the opportunity to set examples, stand up for people, and make sure people are getting the respect they deserve in Flint and Mount Morris from county government. A lot of people focus on city government, but the county has a responsibility to serve the people as well. And so I've been working hard and taking a lot of jabs, but proud to do it because we need to make sure that our folks are looked after from a county perspective as well. Yeah, because a lot of stuff happened at the county, and there are people who have served at the county historically who don't care as much about city of Flint residents. People think it's a county versus city resident piece. And I've had that fight and had to have that discussion with people to say, hey, listen, Flint and Mount Morris has a representative on this board, and the same respect that and due that folks want to give outer county communities, which also respect and represent and such. We're gonna treat the city of Flint and Mount Morris with the dignity and due diligence that they deserve too. So anyway, I won't ramble on and on. I'm also at the UAW as well, the highest ranking African American to come out of the city of Flint, this region, since Reuben Burks. Reuben Burks was number 2 at the UAW as the sec treasurer.
That's right.
And my job now, I work as the top assistant to the international president. You all see Sean Fain all over the news and such. And so that's who I support and work for. And folks ask the question, well, what have you been doing? You haven't been in politics. I've been serving the entire country, working people, but also representing folks in the city of Flint and surrounding areas. When we just had that big strike.
I was just gonna say you played a pivotal part in that strike.
Wow.
And getting that, making sure that they got that agreement.
Yes.
And got the people back to work.
Yes.
You played a big part in that. So thank you for that.
I appreciate that. I mean, right at the table with the international president. And there's a reason why Flint Truck and Bus, for instance, did not go out on strike, where we didn't have the strike impact in the city of Flint and surrounding areas that we had in other parts of the country, because there was a representative from this community that was speaking up for working people and families in this community from that role. So, I stepped away from elected office, but there's a number of ways to serve the residents and people of this community. Dr. King said, anybody can be great because anybody can serve. You just need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. And that's what I've been doing. I've been showing love from other roles, because it's not just about the elected capacity. As a pastor, I pastored in this community. I prayed for folks. I buried folks dead. I married families and christened babies, and fought to get folks jobs and advocated for people. So I can go on and on, but I love this community. Love y'all. Glad to be here, and super proud of the work you all are doing. Just telling the stories of people and keeping us all honest in the community. Thank you, Mickey.
Oh, thank you, Delrico.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
So, 22 years old. What made you get your start in politics that early?
At 22 years old, so,
Tony posting up there, yes,
What'd
we
he
can.
say?
Wasn't that Obama slogan?
Tony.
He going for president. We need him as mayor first, Tony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody's making a comment about Eric Mays. You know, I'll get into that, but we had a phenomenal relationship. My first campaign, my opponent was the late Eric Mays, and you know, politics in this community is so and civil so terrible. We'll talk about that. I don't want to get too far ahead, but Eric and I believe, demonstrated what politics can look like. I mean, literally, when we were running against each other. Actually, we weren't running against each other. We were running for the job. The problem in this community, one of the problems is everybody's running against somebody instead of running for the opportunity to serve the people. And that's how I see it. But anyway, Eric and I, we would literally be on the same streets, knocking doors
At the same
and
time.
at the same
Lord
time.
have mercy.
And his son can vouch for it. And you know, there are doors we went to together. And people would open the door and say, they were confused, like, wait a minute. Aren't y'all running against each other? And I'd be complimenting him and he's complimenting me and we cracking jokes and talking trash, but nothing but respect. We didn't agree all of the time.
Right.
You don't have to agree all of the time.
Right.
And grown folks know how to disagree and still be grown.
Go. That's it.
You know what I mean? And so definitely miss my brother, Eric Mays. But your question was why I got in at 22. So I was adopted. A lot of people don't remember that. My mother, who I didn't meet until I was like 30 years old, 31 years old. Oh, wow. Never met my father. A lot of murder on my dad's side of the family. And, you know, he was killed when he was 26 years old. My aunt, his sister, was killed, murdered, gunned down at 18 years old. They were looking for my dad. He was a drug dealer in Detroit. People talk about Delrico in Detroit. My biological family is from Detroit. I'm from Detroit, born in Detroit. And my biological family is still there. But anyway, killed. My brother, my dad's son, killed at 26 years old. A number of cousins murdered as well. But my mother was 15 when she gave birth to my twin brother and I. And she was in foster care herself. And so when we were just under probably about 6 months old, she was encouraged as a 15-year-old mother of twin boys. I have a twin. His name is Delrico.
You
know, he the ugly one.
Oh, you the hands, he the pretty boy. He the pretty boy. Y'all hear him say that? He the pretty one.
Yeah. So he so anyway, my mother was in foster care herself, unfortunate circumstances in her life. And she was encouraged to put us up for adoption. And so she did. And she was in foster care in Flint for a while as well. So we were put up for adoption. We were in a number of households, diverse. Mexican household, Caucasian household, Black households. And we ended up with the Loyd family. Flora Webb was the matriarch of the family. So 2 years old, we living with her on East Alma in the first ward.
So you was in the hood.
Okay, I was in the hood. I'm from the first ward.
Okay.
And she married a gentleman that had some things on his record. Awesome gentleman, Charles Webb. And the state came to her when we were about 3 years old and said, you can't keep the boys. And they took us out of our home, the Loyd family in Flint, and we went back into the system. And so we bounced around in the system for a number of years. I mean, experienced all kind of abuse that you can think of. We had some of the worst foster care experiences we could have had. You know, a lot of abuse, you name it, we experienced it, and I'll leave it there. Okay. And so, so we end up being pulled out of a home here in Flint, and we ended up in Detroit. We were bounced around. We lived with one family who wanted to separate Delrico and I, because I would always say, I want my mama, I want my mama. And I wasn't talking about my biological mother. I didn't know her. Right now I'm 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. I was talking about the Loyd family, the matriarch, Flora Well, because that's the first woman I called mother. And so they said I scratched up their cars. They said I was breaking stuff and all that. I probably was. I was trying to get home to mom. You know. Right. But anyway, they called the state and said, we don't want Delrico, we want Delrico. And so the caseworker we had, she's dead and gone now, but I'll say her name. Her name was Jackie McGuire. Jackie McGuire, sainted woman of God, in my opinion. But she stayed in touch with the Loyd family, okay? And she told the Loyd family, you know, I'll do what I can to keep y'all connected to the boys. So she would get in good with the foster families, right? And then encourage them and say the Loyd family, good people. And then the foster family would get comfortable with that. And then, long story short, the foster family will let the Loyd family come pick us up for holidays and weekends. So we always stay connected to the Loyd family, right? And so bounce around. So here we are, we're 8.5 years old, almost 9 years old. I think we're almost 9. And Flora, my mama, that was the first woman I called mother. I'm 9 years old now in Flint. She called her daughter, Shirley, who was my sister, Shirley Faye Loyd, okay? And she said, we got to get these boys back in the family. Enough. They've been bounced around enough. They've been abused. They've been molested. Everything you can name. Child abuse. I mean, we got beat with rose bush limbs and put in bathtubs when we were wet to bed. And I remember they would beat us with wet towels and have us in cold water. We experienced some extreme abuse. So when people talk about Delrico Loyd and what they think they know, they don't really know me like that.
They don't know.
Or where I come from.
This
There's a
man is
reason
tough.
why,
Right.
you know, I am the way that I am. And so long story short, Flora said to Shirley, my sister, she said, enough. You not married. Her husband had been killed in the car accident, her fiance. She had no kids. She said, you get your foster care license and you get them boys back to this family. So at the time, we lived with an 80-something-year-old woman, Miss McClammy, in the city of Detroit. And Miss McClammy was a widowed woman. And I tell you, we was bad. I mean, me and my brother, we'd fighting, we'd jumping on the beds and all that. And one time, Miss McClammy called Flora Webb because, you know, they was in good with the Loyd family. And she told them what happened. And so we bouncing around, fighting and throwing stuff, throwing food in the trash, and heard the doorbell ring and the door open. And it was the Loyd family.
Yeah.
And they came in there and they tore our butts up.
That wasn't abuse.
Listen, that wasn't abuse. They tore our behinds up.
See, that was one you earned.
Oh my God. And then they hugged us and kissed us and said, we love y'all and we'll see y'all next time. And so the doorbell rang. And when we opened the door, it was Shirley Faye Loyd, my sister at the time. And she said, boys, I came to take y'all home.
Oh.
So she brought us back to Flint, went to Ridgeway, West Ridgeway, the house next door to the house I lived in when I was on the city council. Okay. And she took us to our mama house, Flora Webb, and took us in the house, had our little bags, sat at the table. And our mama, Flora, said, listen, I ain't gonna cry, so I can't talk about this long. But what I'll say is this. She says, boys, she said, I had to get y'all back in this family. But y'all can't stay with me. You're gonna live with your sister. And she says, and she gonna raise y'all, and I'm gonna help her. And from that day forward, our mother became our grandmother, and our sister became our mother. So that's how I got to Flint. So when people talk about why did you come back to Flint? Yes, I took the job at the UAW. I vowed I'd never get in politics again because I gave so much, took so many attacks, and then I had so many losses and death, and I had to get away from my own mental stability. The heck what people talking about. I had to get away so Delrico could be good. And I had dual residence, had a house here, had a house down there that I was renting and that kind of thing. But people say, why you come back here? You make good money. You got a good job. You're prominent. You're all over the world. Those kinds of things.
That ain't what they said.
Well, that ain't what they said. They said some other nasty
right.
stuff. I want to get it. I want to get into that.
We're going to get into what they said.
I want to get somebody say you got a good old fashioned, you know what? We'll not abuse it all. Yeah. And but people ask the question, why you come back? People question my motive. Why you come back? Why you here? Because even though I've been working, I've been busy, I always been connected to Flint. I've been these investments, they talking about GM, all the elected officials want to take credit. They're not at the table. The UAW at the table, the leadership at the table, I'm at the table. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you see these billions of dollars, millions of dollars, you can check Delrico's name as a part of that and the work I do to help bring money back to this community. Been doing it for years. But I came back because even though I tried to stay away from politics, my heartbeat remained connected to the pulse of this community. I feel like I owe the city of Flint because if it wasn't for the city of Flint, if it wasn't for the Loyd family, my brother Knight Delrico would not have had a shot at a real quality life. We wouldn't have been raised in the church we were raised in. We wouldn't have the family that we have. Listen, I wouldn't trade my family in if they were rich. We could have used some more money.
Right.
We poor. Okay. A little more money is good. But if God had reached into eternity and said that you can pick your own family before you were formed in your mother's womb, I will pick the Loyd family all over again.
That's powerful.
I pick them all over again. And guess what? My mama, Moochie, my biological mother, met her 30-some years old. And we have a phenomenal relationship. And the first words I spoke to my mother when I met her, my brother, he walked up and he gave her, hey, mama. And I'm looking at him like, hey, mama.
Right.
You
don't know this lady.
Yeah. You don't know this lady. You know, she could be a serial killer.
Right.
But anyway, the first words I literally spoke to my mother. I walked up to her and she looked at me. And I looked at her and I said to her, I always said, if I ever meet you, that I would tell you that I love you and thank you.
It's the onions. It's the onions.
That's what I told my mother. I said, I love it. Those are the first words as a 30-year-old man that I ever spoke to my mother. I didn't even know her name. Thank you, and I love her. And she said, I love you too. And so then she said, well, we can talk about whatever you want. I'll answer whatever questions. I said, I don't have no questions at this time. We talk later because I just wanted some clarity on some things that I heard. I said, but I want you to know that your sons have been all right. Yep. And we got to agree with. If I call her right now, I say, "What you doing?" Nothing at home. Get ready to get out this hair and these underwear and lay down. And my mama crazy. My mama crazy. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, that's why back in politics and then getting on the city council at that time. Here it is. We're gonna shift now. At that time, when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, the councils at that time, who I respect, we stand on their shoulders. There was a lot of bickering, fighting, and cussing and clowning. Not like it is now.
Right. It's nothing like it is now.
Back then. And I always felt like through talking my way out of foster homes and, you know, and speaking up for my brother and I and that kind of thing, I always had this spirit in me, this fighter spirit in me, that I won't depend on other people to go do it. And I'm not going to trash others for not doing it the way I would do it. I'll go do it myself. And so as a young man, even at 14, 15, I always said I wanted to be on council. And when the opportunity presented itself at 22, I believe that the Lord led me and called me to do it. And the rest of it is history. All right, Delrico, you've been talking.
No, I love hearing you talk. Yeah. I think a lot of people, when they come on the platform,
sure,
people get to see a different side of it.
Okay, wow.
And you told a story that nobody knew.
Oh, wow.
Some may knew, but the majority of them did.
Yeah.
And so I thank you for opening up with us this morning. Yeah. So, just like me, we both took that break away.
Yeah.
You be in politics and Flint so long, you gotta take a break.
Yeah.
You took that.
Hold on 1 second. Woodrow Green. While my mom was Jackie McGuire's supervisor at the state of Michigan, they're a good friend. Woodrow, God bless you. God bless your mom. If she hadn't been the woman she was, then we would have lost contact with the Loyd family and I wouldn't be sitting here. I owe everything that I am and everything that I have, not just to the Loyd family, not just to mentors and teachers that I've had, folks who've supported me and guided me, but I owe it to your sainted and dear mother. God bless you, sir.
Wow. Look what Tia said. Now that's the truth in terms of who negotiate jobs to that magnitude to come to the city, Flint, involving the UAW.
Yeah. Tia, we worked in the plant together. Hey, Woodrow, your mother, after all of those years, man, when I ran for office the second time, and that was a tough race. I had a tough opponent or a tough opposer. And your mother, I hadn't talked to her all of those years. And your mother, I got a message from your dear mother. And she reached out to me. And I mean, we just cried and talked. And she said, I'm so proud of you. If there's anything I can do to support you, I will. So your mother came and volunteered on my campaign. Talk about full circle. She volunteered on my campaign. And the Flint Journal did an article. You can find it online. It was the front page article. It had President Obama. He had won the Iowa caucus. It had Hillary Clinton in one corner, and the center large picture was a picture of me with your mother standing in the backdrop and some other folks that worked on our campaign when we won that election. It's hanging up in my loft right now. A front page Flint Journal article with your mother standing right behind me with a smile on her face. Now that's full circle.
That sure is.
Yes. Yeah, wow. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I forgot where I was at. We're just having a conversation. So you took a break from politics. You came back.
Yeah.
You came back. People have reached out to you, and you came back for now we're talking the year 2023.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Appointed to, that's when BB died. Yes, was last year. Yes. So Brian BB Noden.
No, he died. He passed away the end of 2022. I think it was like November.
Okay.
And then The appointment was in January of
Okay.
2023.
So Brian B.B. Nolden, legendary from Burston, passed away at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
In 2023, you were selected
Yeah.
in his spot. Everybody screaming, "Be like B, be like B." Remember that?
Yeah,
Be like
yeah,
B.
yeah.
And you were selected to represent his district.
Mhm.
And what does that district cover?
Ooh, so it's the boundaries of the district is really, it's kind of hard to describe, but what I will say is it's predominantly the west side of the city of Flint down the center of the city of Flint, the majority of the north side of the city of Flint, portion of the south side, and go way out to Ridgecrest, way out there, that part of the city, and then half of Mount Morris Township Beecher as
Okay.
well. So it pretty much runs down the center of the city and then goes east. I said west, but it's east.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tough questions.
Yeah.
Tough
You
questions.
can
Now,
ask me whatever you
you
want
know
to
I ain't
ask
gonna
me.
let up on you.
Yeah.
Because if I was told, I'm sure others were told.
Yeah.
So Delrico is coming back because Delrico is broke.
My Lord.
He needed another job.
Oh wow.
The job he had is getting ready to let him go.
Ooh.
And a man is paying for the loft that he stay in. Delrico, take it over.
Lord Jesus.
Take it over.
He
I'm
said-
telling
he
you
said-
what we heard.
He said that to y'all.
I'm telling you what we
So
heard.
here's the deal. Let me be very, very clear. You can check my financial reports when I was running for office previously. I haven't run for office in a while. And you can check my history. I'm not in anybody's pocket, and I'm saying it publicly. So if there's anybody to be offended, then they'll just be offended. I'm saying this publicly, and I know folks are watching this all around the world. I'm not in anybody's pocket. I've only had one person ever proposition me, and it was a soft proposition, and I probably was like 23 years old when that happened, because people know me. I don't owe anybody anything other than to do a good job and to remember the shoulders I stand on and the people I represent. I represent the people of this community. I don't represent business leaders. I don't represent politicians. I don't carry out people's political beefs or agendas. My hands are clean when it comes to that. Now, let me be clear. I'm not a perfect man. None are imperfect but God. You understand what I'm saying? But what I will say is that my convictions are true, and I'm scared of God. And this ain't a play on religion. What God has done in the life of my brother and I'm afraid to change the strategy. I'm afraid to switch up and be beholden to somebody else over God. So let me be very, very clear.
Right.
For anybody who suggested
Break it
that,
down. Break it down.
Nobody planted me anywhere. I'm here because I believe that God has given me an assignment, and this ain't no play on religion. I said I'd never get back in politics. Do you know how much I gave up as a 22-year-old politician? Listen, I was fresh out of foster care. Okay, I just came grown. Can you imagine the inner struggles, the inner challenges that a 22-year-old boy who was just adopted at 9 or 10, graduated high school year and a half late and that kind of thing, or school, that had the challenge? Can you imagine the things that's going through my mind at 22? And I'm still serving this community as president of city council, asking the questions, where do I come from? I'm sitting there chairing the meetings. I don't know who my mother is. I don't know who my father is. I don't know I didn't even know their names or if they were still alive.
You just never know what a person goes
Yeah,
through.
you don't
never
know what a person come through. So I'm not sitting there at 24 thinking how I can get, $5,000 or $10,000. I mean, this money people selling out for these days, it ain't even no money.
Yeah.
Give me enough money to move the whole hood out the hood. Give me enough money where I can pick up everybody and say we all gonna go hide out in Dubai.
Right.
Now, I'm talking crazy. I wouldn't take anything, but what I'm saying is that could not be further from the truth. And one of the things I appreciate is that people have not propositioned me in that way. And I believe it's because, you can be around somebody and sense where they coming from. That's not even my history. I haven't even been propositioned that way. The other thing is that, in terms of coming back to the first ward district seat, the first district county commissioner seat, the same day that BB passed, salute to BB. I'm serving his term. Next year, I'll begin my own term, and we'll talk about that. But much respect to my brother. We served on council together. He was one who elected me president of the council, so we had an awesome history. And but Delrico, get to the point. The point is this: that you know, the same day that he passed, folks began reaching out to me about the seat, and I was not living here. Now you ain't got to spread the rumor. I say it.
He said it. Stand on business, Delrico.
Yeah, I'll say it. I was not living up here. That's the truth. I was pastoring up here. I had just sold my place up here. But no, listen, I got married and had kids in Detroit and was working, and ain't no need of me commuting. I mean, you know, and so that's what I was doing. So let me be very, very clear. But what folks don't know is you can't give people a happiness you don't feel yourself. And my wife and I, who have a great relationship, I wasn't able to give her the happiness that she really deserved. Now, we being transparent and unplugged,
Right.
because I wasn't happy, because I felt like that I was somewhere that God didn't intend me to be. That was short term for me to be there. And so we had already been discussing, when are we moving back to the city of Flint? What role will I run for? And those kinds of things. But God is divine in his timing. You never know when he's going to tap you on your shoulder and say, this is the time. So let me be very clear for everybody, so nobody got to speculate. Delrico wasn't living here. Now go tell people he said that.
This the point.
Stand on business. Go ahead, Mickey.
Why do we have to? Why we our own worst enemies? Why we our own worst enemies?
Hold on one second. Dennis, what's going on? He just asked a question. He said, here's the litmus test. Does he have a nonprofit? Nonprofit corporation. The answer to that is no. And neither does my wife. We do not have nonprofits. Now, let me be clear. I have considered, my twin brother and I starting a nonprofit, but we just haven't been able to get around to it because there's some things we want to do for children that are in the foster care system, youth that experience the same things we've experienced. We want to be able to provide housing and opportunities and trainings and those kinds of things. So we have a vision that the Lord has given us. But to be honest, my brother, I have not had time to do it. So no, I don't have a nonprofit. I don't own my own business. My wife owns a couple businesses.
Dennis said you're hired.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but when I got the calls, go ahead, Mickey.
No, it was just back to what I was asking before you handled that. Why are we our own worst enemy? Because I was around during that time and was hearing the chatter that
he heard the same stories I did about Delrico. You're a threat.
And that's why I'm saying why we are our worst enemy. But the first thing they go holler at, oh, it's the white man. Because I'm just telling you, some of the stuff I didn't heard, I dare there probably I'm not saying some of them some apologies.
Wow.
Because of the things we was told was lies. Wow. And I'm like, wow. And that's what I mean. Like, why are we our own worst enemies? It's like we got to be re-educated. When I mean re-educated, because we was only getting a one-sided view from probably some of your political enemies. I'm gonna be honest with you. Wow. And that's how I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know, I'll say this. It's unfortunate because that's not. If you follow me on social media and occasionally somebody would jump on a page and start attacking Delrico Loyd. If you notice, not one time have you ever and will you see me jump on there and start going off. You know what I tell people? I say, listen, if you ever want to sit down and talk, we can sit down and talk. If you want to attack me, have your way. I'm not going to fire back at you. Want to know why? Because I don't have to do that. Because for me, I understand what the main thing is. And I want to specialize in keeping the main thing, and that's the responsibility that I have to represent the people of this community, to love on my family, to be an example for my church, you know, and to try to be a light in a dark place and in a dark world. And so I don't get into that. I mean, the thing is, I even when I was 22, my first city council meeting, it wasn't Caucasian people, it was Black people, pastors in particular, and I won't call names. That came. No, I won't do it. I won't do it. They know who they are. They probably watching. But my first meeting, I'm a 22-year-old boy, fresh out of the system. And in the first meeting, instead of coming up saying, young man, congratulations, proud of you, whatever we can do to help you, because we specialize in this community in eating our young and then eating our young and our own. And came to the mic and said, why in the world would y'all put this boy This boy on this council, he don't even know how to find the bathroom around here. How disrespectful.
Right.
But I resist the urge to get even or to say something smart. And I keep in mind, Delrico, if you start acting like everybody else, then you lose the ability to say you don't act like everybody else.
Right.
You lose the example that people have in you. And this ain't a play on righteousness. Let me be very clear. But what I'm talking about standing on business, I don't play them kind of games. Those kind of games, I don't play those. So, a lot of enemies, you want a friend, show yourself friendly. I've been respectful and kind and civil and respectful to people, even when I knew they were trashing me, trying to recruit opponents against me. I may not say it, but I hear it because people come and share, and I watch, and I have discernment as well. But I don't get into that. My weapon is love. I prefer to love because at the end of the day, I want to be able to walk in any room and to not have people pointing at me saying I did something to them. But I want to be a voice in any room to say, y'all, we got to stop all this and come together. Let's work together. Hey, listen, y'all don't have to pick each other up if you run out of gas. But when it comes to us doing what's right for people, we got to stand on business. I love that. And I need a t-shirt with stand on business on.
Oh, we got to get you one. Go
Yeah.
www.beyout5.com. I'll give you the website.
And somebody here saying, and I really struggle with that, I have to respond. And what I say to people is, if you don't mind, Witness, is that, the truth is we can't be strategic and emotional at the same time. We can't do it. And here's the deal. The residents, the activists, the advocates, y'all have a lot to be pissed off about. Y'all have a lot to be angry about. You have a lot to be frustrated with and a lot to lash out.
Got you, beautified.
That's the one who makes all our merch.
Please. I mean, the people have a reason to be angry. I mean, look at what's happened to this community over all of these years. This community looks like a dirty trash can with good people living on the inside of it. And some of the people that should be standing up are scratching at the barrel, trying to get everybody out, trying to get out the trash can while they push everybody else down. No, we got to figure out how to do this together. And can't be emotional strategic at the same time. So we have to really ask ourselves the question, particularly as leaders, what's more important, me getting somebody told off or me getting this business done for the people of the community? What's better, me getting even with my political adversaries or me trying to figure out a way to work with them despite our differences so that we clean this community up and move things forward? That's where I stand. That's the business I stand on.
I got a question for you regarding even though I know you're on the commissioner board, and we'll jump back over there.
And I keep my answers a little shorter.
I know how you go.
Yeah.
But being on council before and looking at the current council right now, this current council right now with Eric Mays that has passed away. If you were on council, first of all, do you think they have the ability to change and work together? Or how do you view them? So
a couple of things I'll say. One thing I'll say is that I serve at the county. And what I try to do, there's a lot of things that I want to speak up on a number of things with other governmental agencies. I try to, respecting that we're serving in the different places, what I try to do is have conversations. I make phone calls, I meet with people, and I share my sentiment. And that sentiment is generally, we got to figure out a way to work together. Listen, the mayor is not my friend, and he does not consider me a friend. But what I will say is this, and I'm not trashing him, I'm not going to get into that because we have different ways of doing things and approaching things and those kinds of things. But what I will say is he is the mayor, and I believe that council should be working with him. But I also believe he should be working with them. And so do I think that they can change? I think it's all about, because there's some good people doing good work. I won't loop them all together.
Right, absolutely.
And there's a couple new people just put on there, and I have high hopes and expectations of them. But it's all about a decision that every elected official who represent our community makes when they wake up in the morning. You got to wake up in the morning and say to yourself, I'm not going to let nobody stress me out. I'm not going to let nobody throw me off. I'm not going to let anybody distract me. I'm going to stand on business. I'm using that today. Now, that's going to show up in the sermon too, just so you know.
Stand on business.
Yeah, I'm going to stand on business. And I'm going to do what it takes to do right by the people. So can they get better? As a whole, they can be a whole lot better. Okay. But as a whole, it's about a decision that they make, and they got to make it as individuals and make it collectively. And that's my hope. That's my hope. Because my sons, I can't have them watch the meeting because some of the stuff that you see is stuff that I'm trying to train and teach them not to do, and stuff I don't want them seeing me do, and I don't do. So it's just a decision that they make.
Somebody said you got their vote. He ain't even running for nothing yet. Until the mayor's race, we gotta wait until the mayor's race.
No, I haven't said
we putting that out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna predict it on 18.
Yeah.
So back to the county. So Burston. It's on everybody's mind. We see this big development going down there in Burston. We see the Friends of Burston. I personally hadn't heard of that.
Okay.
And then we see a lot of pictures, this big gala, Friends of Burston. I'm like, these aren't my friends. I don't know whose friends these are.
It's the nonprofit.
Okay. Nonprofit Friends of Burston.
Yeah.
Are they trying to take Burston away from the community?
I don't know that they are, and I don't believe that they are. So one thing I want to clear up. People thought when I got appointed to BB's commissioner seat that the director of Burston was that job. So I've really got more questions from the community about Burston than I did the county commissioner role. It's not the same. So by vocation, Burston, for sake of conversation, was BB's day job. Gotcha. So like I work at the UAW, that's my day job. His day job was Burston. He championed that. The Friends of Burston is the nonprofit that was created basically to run it. So it's like Hasselbrain, they have a nonprofit that's running it. I think Brennan may have somebody running that one, I'm not sure, but Burston. So it's the governing board of the organization that basically leases Burston from the city of Flint. So the board, which BB, I believe, started, and there are different people on there, some honorable people, his widow, Miss Jackie Nolden, who we built a great relationship since his passing as well. And God bless her, former police chief Alvern Locke, who took a bullet in the line of duty here in the city of Flint. He was the chief of police under Mike Brown, who was a great mayor for the 6 months he was there. But anyway, so they're on that board, and then they appointed BB, if you will, as the executive director of Burston. So their mission is really to serve the community, create opportunities, and they do that. And then now they're building this building that they're building to kind of expand that. So I believe that, their intent is for Burston to remain a pillar in the space of opportunity, fellowship, and recreation for people throughout the community. So I support what they're doing at Burston. They just appointed James Avery. He's the chair of the county board of commissioner. I think he's going to do a good job, but he's got to raise a lot of money because there's still millions upon millions of dollars that they need to complete that project. So I don't run Burston. I'm just a county commissioner.
Okay, well, I'm glad we cleared that up because I too was upset. Like, why didn't you take Delrico and put him down?
Oh no, because then I would have had to quit my job.
Well, I didn't know that.
And
the job that you was about to lose, that was about to get rid of you.
Yeah, and the thing is, let me tell you something. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back up. Folks saying Delrico is losing his job. And so he coming back because he need a job. First of all, I can't feed my family on the little stipend I get from the county. So let me be very clear with that. That ain't listen. That's my son's tuition, and some gas. Okay? Really? Yeah. That ain't And then the amount of money I give back to people, through religious institutions and donating to various things. That money is a stipend. But what happened was I was the top assistant to the previous president, Ray Curry, who's a phenomenal man as well. And when the UAW had this national election, another guy was elected. His name is Sean Fain. And Sean and I came up through the ranks together. He and I have been great friends for many, many years. And watch this. He ran against the guy I was the top assistant, like the city administrator for. You understand what I'm saying? He ran against that guy. They had a tough race. But because he knew how Delrico operate, because he know I'm civil, I'm respectful, I'm professional, I'm consistent. When he got elected as president, he brought in his own people. But when he brought in his own people, he didn't kick Delrico to the curb. He gave Delrico a promotion. I became the special assistant to the international president. And so I'm engaged in the operations of a $2 billion organization with offices all over this country and the world, with employees everywhere. We represent, and you see the UAW on the news and that kind of thing. I'm right with him and our awesome team. We have an amazing team of top assistants and staff and department heads and our also membership and that kind of thing. So the folks who said that didn't know what the heck they were talking about, because Delrico didn't lose his job because the leadership changed at the UAW. Delrico actually, the new president came in the door saying, hey man, no, you stand on the team, you family, you my brother. Matter of fact, when the
the gatekeeper's not paying for your loft downtown either.
Who? You want me to pull up my lease agreement? Listen, when I leave here, I need to take about $2,500 down there to pay my rent and all that kind of stuff.
But you got to go pick up the check from somebody that's paying for it, right?
Listen, that's all foolishness.
Right.
Absolutely foolishness to say anybody. Let me tell you something. There's no way I will let anybody have that kind of control over me. And I'm saying it publicly. Ain't no way in the world. I've been extremely blessed. God's favor is real. How he's blessed and kept my brother and I. He and I were talking 2 days ago. We cannot describe it. The opportunities, the relationships, the blessings economically that we've been able to get just by walking in what God has called us to do. Whether preaching, he's a preacher, minister of music, producer at a mega church in Detroit, Greater Grace Temple Church, City of David. Bishop Charles Ellis, he's the minister of music there. My twin brother. Some of the songs you hear on the radio, on satellite radio, he's produced it. He's wrote it for some of the top artists in the country. And but no, ain't nobody put me up in nothing.
You see how they feel about you, don't you?
Yeah, ain't nobody put me up in.
He can't be bought. That's real.
Yeah, you can run, but you can't hide.
No, she talking to Dennis. That's back and forth.
Yeah. No, ain't no. So let me be very clear. Very clear. Let me be very, very clear.
Stand no business. Stand it.
Nobody has recruited me to do nothing. Nobody has put me up anywhere.
Number 2.
See,
I ain't in nobody's pocket.
Number 3.
Check my financial reports.
Number 4.
I don't have no check from nobody downtown. Ain't nobody wrote me no check.
That part.
And that kind of thing. And I don't represent them. Chamber of Commerce, they just did their strategic plan to us. And I do believe, let me be very, very clear. I believe that we got to find a way in this community for everybody to work together. You can't be getting it all and the people ain't getting none. If you're going to get yours, we got to figure out how the people can get theirs. I have said no to people downtown, but I've also said yes. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a balance. But I think in the community overall, this is a more general statement. I think the balance is off. You understand what I'm saying? And we got to figure out how to balance this out. Listen, you can't be the only one eating. Everybody got to eat.
Who he sounded like? No.
Rich Jones.
What did Rich Jones say?
Rich Jones said this has been going on for many, many years in the community.
Yeah.
They've been taking money. Y'all been giving money to who y'all like for years, but y'all ain't gave us nothing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing he's saying.
And somebody just said, I don't know if they meant this, but I appreciate the comment. He knows this is Flint, right? Stands on business. He knows this is Flint. But let me tell you something. Everybody in politics is not corrupt. Everybody doesn't have the wrong motives. I mean, every pastor isn't bad. Every advocate isn't bad. To say that is to say you bad because you fit in some, whoever you are, you fit in some stereotype, and the unfortunate thing is things have gotten so bad where people feel that everybody's bad, but just hold on. Everybody ain't bad.
See.
Everybody ain't bad.
We do have a question from one of our viewers back.
Casey said, are you voting yes for all the dispensaries that are opening up in Mount Morris in the Pearson Road corridor? We need a speedway, grocery store, and restaurants. No more dispensaries. What's your take on that?
So I think the dispensary issue is not one that comes to us at the county commission. I know if I was still on city council, we would have voted on that. When I was there, I did vote to shut down, take licenses for some liquor stores. There's some liquor stores in the First Ward that's closed right now because we voted and took their liquor license because they weren't being good neighbors in community. I met with a lot of these guys when I'm 22, 23, 24 and said, hey, too many prostitutes out here, too much trash out here. Kids are coming in and out here.
How old are you now, Delrico?
I'm 39 now.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
So I was elected. I was elected from 22 to 27 and a half. And then I was out of politics from 27 to 37.
Okay.
And then I came back when I was 37 in the politics. So big gap. So when people say, what has he done for the city all these years? We ain't seen Delrico. I wasn't in politics.
Right.
I was purposely laying low and trying to stay out the way and, and that kind of thing. And I'm happy I did that. But where I stand on the dispensaries is this. I think that number one, I have a problem in the state that it's not more minorities that had opportunity to get to open dispensaries. That's number one. And that's a major problem because there are people that had a heads up on this thing and we didn't get it. Right. So I wish, because it's the thing of the day now, it's what people are doing, and it's regulated. I wish more of our people, minorities particularly, had opportunity to own them. So that's my first piece. The second piece is it's got to be a balance in the community. Right. And it doesn't, we don't need to be, you know, you go to Vegas and it's casino. Right. We don't need to be dispensary. Yes, sir. That needs to be, it should have been governed, it should have been managed, and it should have been done in a way where it was proportionate to the community, but also making sure that the ownership of those were very diverse. I'm not for a strip of dispensaries. I would like to see more businesses come in the community and open some of these other things because the government is not in the business of creating business, but supporting business and creating an environment. But I think in our community, we need to create an environment that's more inviting to people who want to invest their money and create businesses. And we need to make it easier for businesses, responsible businesses, to do business in our community.
And you inspired this young brother. That's why I put this up here.
Oh, God bless you, man.
Neighborhood hero, my brother, my whole outlook of you has changed.
Wow.
James Cochran.
Salute, brother. Salute.
My brother James.
God bless, man.
See, we get them on 18, they win.
How old is James? About 32, 33, the good brother?
33, I think.
Yeah, James is 33.
Yeah. What we say the other day, James, when you and Rich was on here, if you want to win, you got to come to 18.
Yeah.
And so, Delrico, like, I want to talk about some of the things that you want to talk about. Like, I've never done that.
I want to take these questions because I want to clear up all this. I want to clear up all this foolishness.
Oh, yeah. You sure? Now we got a tough crowd.
Yeah,
Delrico.
yo, that's right.
Tough crowd.
Listen, I don't think we should run from people. I think, you know, when people have the opportunity to ask questions, I think it just gives opportunity for conversation and clarification and inspiration too. So I don't mind it. We can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, sure.
I told you I took a vacation day today from the UAW. So again, I'm not at work. Everybody.
He's standing up. We're gonna open the phone line.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Now you said. Now listen. Let me tell y'all something. Don't y'all be coming on here messing with my friend Delrico, because he's gonna be the mayor. Okay.
No, see, and let me go ahead. Go ahead. Ask your question.
We got to be respectful.
We got to be respectful.
We bringing these people to you, and like we ain't doing with nobody. But when you can get a commissioner on here, you can get all these different people. Yeah. Let's dialogue and respect and show the family.
Absolutely.
And with his brother would love to come back.
Somebody asked about county opera money too, but no.
Oh, here we go. Here's our first caller.
Press 1 to start the call, or 2 to the call will start at the beep.
Good morning, caller. You've been bumped in. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hey, St. Louis.
You know, I am enjoying the show. I am enjoying your guest, and he is so true. Everybody cannot be a pastor, and everybody ain't Christian. Mm-hmm. But and he said, he said, love your family. Yeah. You may not have caught that, but I caught that. He said, love your family too. But it is a lot of kids in foster care that go through trauma. But when I was listening to him and he was telling his story, the only thing I could sit there and say was, look at God.
Yeah.
Look at God. God is all over him. Oh. I don't know what God really got around him, but it ain't the same.
It ain't the same God, okay.
It ain't the same. But I'm like you once. He need to run for mayor.
I'm trying my best to push him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm from St. Louis, and he have my support all the way here.
Mm-hmm. Good brother.
And that's all. I mean, I can only just say, look at God. He don't have to sit there and have a cross. He don't have to sit there and wear a Jesus hat. I was up this morning praying, and I said, God, why is there so many corrupt people in this world? If you was probably to sit there and tell them I will pay you to be obedient. I will pay you to love. They would take that money instead of just trying to do it. You know, just obedient, just do it. But they rather sell their souls to the devil.
Mhm.
And then I started crying about that. I said, Lord, I'm sorry. I said, I know I have questions like this that I be asking you. I said, but that's just what come in my head to do.
Mhm.
If they were to sit there and just, work together, do what's right,
Yes, ma'am.
the whole world can be flowing.
Right.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
But they won't do it, and for God to sit there and have to bribe them to do right, that's the way I feel. He got to bribe you just to do right. Why can't you just do right anyway?
Right. 10 seconds, St. Louis.
That's all I had to say. And God bless you.
God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. Thank you so much for your encouragement and your words. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, St. Louis.
And welcome, Mary. I got you back. Okay, bye
Oh,
bye.
wow.
Bye-bye.
So a couple things, because I'm looking at the comments. Thank you. People don't have to say nice things, and they don't have to be nice to us, and so I appreciate that.
We got another caller, then you'll
Okay.
be able to you can take you some notes. It'll be a break in between. Good morning, caller. You've been bumped in. Uh-oh. Feedback. Okay, you've been.
That's Dr. Bucko.
Who's that, Dr. Bucko?
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Bucko.
Even got the babies
You
calling
done
me.
called in this morning. What's going on? You back, Dr. Bucko. We so glad you back, baby. We love you. You said what? Who took you to who house? You or your granny house?
The baby.
Yeah, he used to call.
Oh, where your little sister at?
The camera's not on.
Okay. The camera's not wide. I don't know what you're doing, Dr. Bucko.
I don't take turns. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. How you
Good morning.
doing?
Morning.
I'm okay. He was saying that we should. That's what he called his mama. We should.
Oh,
He was saying we should brought him to Weezy house. He called me Weezy.
he don't call you granny.
No.
No. You said no. Well, how you doing this morning?
So then he tried to turn, when you asked for sister, he tried to turn the camera on because we used to FaceTime call.
Okay.
So turn the camera on so you can see sister.
Okay. He's so sweet. Tell Dr. Bucko and little Miss Missy, he done made 18 this morning. Dr. Bucko, we love you. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to say? Bye. Bye. We love Dr. Bucko. You the kids love us. See, we had the kids watching us today. That's beautiful. So the first caller, you want to say something? You all in them comments.
Yeah. I was seeing some stuff here. So a couple things came up. One thing is about the corruption. I see Brother Trevor Berryhill on here, and he asked questions about what am I doing about corruption and evil in the county. So here's the deal. I think people need to be honest with people. And a lot of times people act like they control it all, and we don't. I'm a county commissioner. So the corruption that folks speak to, particularly at City Hall, if there be corruption and those kinds of things, I'm a county commissioner. So at the city, there are entities that are set up to address those. You got to be honest, say what you can do, say what you can't do.
Did you see his old question, his beginning question?
Yes, that's what I'm addressing. And thank you for the compliments too, Trevor. But being an honest politician isn't enough in these trying times. Understood. You got to do the work. What are you doing to fight the ongoing corruption in Flint? So I'm talking specifically about the corruption in Flint. There's nothing I can do as a county commissioner to hold people accountable at the city, or the city council, mayor's office, whoever, that folks may feel like doing corruption. There's the Ethics and Accountability Board. There are the different law enforcement agencies and those kinds of things. And there's the residents to hold their elected officials accountable when it's time to vote for them and those kinds of things. What I can do is set the example set an example for those leaders, because I'm a fellow leader too. We're all co-elected. I just want to be honest about what I can do. And then I have had conversations with folks even behind the scenes, because I've asked questions about things I was concerned about, and I've raised my concerns about things. And I've had conversations where I said, when I was on council, it didn't work that way. We didn't handle it that way. I don't think that should be. Is there a reason y'all took that vote? Why did it take so long to swear in the new council board? So I asked those kinds of questions, and I try to do my part as a county elected, so a co-equal with them by giving advice and perspective behind the scenes and raising it. I'm not going to come to the mic and lamb blast them, but I won't say that there may not be a point that I speak up on some things. I'll leave that there.
My phone back.
Yeah, and then there's a question about the ARPA funds. I can't speak to what the city is doing with their ARPA funds, but I can speak to what the county has done with ours. And I brought this because I anticipated the question, but I have it in my mind and in my heart as well. The county, we've allocated all of our ARPA funds, okay? And the city had their ARPA funds, which was a much larger pot than the county's pot, when the county's pot is distributed throughout the entire county, because our pot don't just go to Flint. Flint gets a portion and there are different projects, but all the other areas get it as well. So our money, we put money in demolition. We've done stuff for infrastructure projects. Most recently, we went back to be responsible with ARPA and said, let's make sure everybody who got money, because a lot of the money was allocated before I got there. Let me be clear about that. BB helped allocate that money. But what I did was I said, let's go back and make sure everybody's spending their money the way they're supposed to, and they're going to spend it on time. And if they're not, let's pull that money back. So I did.
So y'all check up on the people that you gave ARPA money to?
Yes, because we want to make sure that they're spending it. So when the Bursting project happened, particularly, just as one example, I said, listen, this was BB's project. I'm serving the rest of his term. If he was here, he'd be advocating for money. So I went to the county and said, let's see what money we have. I want to at least get them, a sizable amount of money. So we pulled money back, about $4 million, and 1 million of that. It was a fight with my colleagues. Oh Lord, it was a 3-month fight. But I recently did a press conference at Bursting to contribute $1 million of county ARPA fund toward helping them complete that project. The other thing we did is we defined a pot of money. Said we can't forget the seniors and the senior centers. They need recreation projects that they have. So we allocated a pot of money and gave every senior center $100,000 to do a project or projects, plural, of their choice. And then we went and met with Hasselbring. We met with all of the senior centers throughout the county, too, in my district. And we recently did that as well. We also gave some money to a couple organizations, not some of these personal nonprofits, but some larger institutions in the area that serve poor people, help them pay bills, provide opportunity, those kinds of things. So that's ARPA. That's that. And then I want to comment on the mayor's speech. I sure appreciate the love and the positive thoughts and encouragement. I mean, to be honest with you, because I don't give political answers, I've thought about running for mayor winning since I was 24 years old. And nobody got a guess, Delrico. I mean, I've thought about it for years and years and years, and I didn't at previous times because I didn't believe the Lord was leading me to do it at that time.
He leading you now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's leading me now. He
told me he was.
What I will say is that my concerns for our community are real. I'm not here to play games. Right. I don't need to be elected. I make great money. My family and I are blessed, very, very blessed. I don't need the little stipend. I've had titles since I was a kid. I was president of the city council at 24. Titles don't. I've been a pastor. I pastor people. I've had people call me pastor. There's nothing greater than people calling you daddy or husband or pastor. So I've had I don't need the titles. It's a pay cut to be mayor, a big pay cut. But my concerns are real. And I've had that conversation with Mayor Neely. I mean, that's how I roll. I've told Mayor Neely, hey man, running for mayor in the future is something that I've thought about and that kind of thing. And what a spirited conversation that was. I don't play the games. What I will say is my focus right now is I want to serve the people of the county. I want to encourage the mayor to work with the council and the council to work with the mayor. You're not going to hear me out here trashing Sheldon Neely. You're not going to hear me trashing the council. I don't think it's productive for me to do that as an elected official. And I want to try to get President Biden elected as president and serve the community. The future will take care of itself. There's a time and season for everything. And right now it's the time and season to try to be a good county commissioner.
Okay, I try not to leave anybody out. Flint Caskets and Memorials LLC, Mr. Ernest that is on here, he had a question about the police scanners, and he's been bringing this up a lot. Is there anything that the county can do, because they took away
police scanners?
They took away the ability for the public to listen to the police scanners? Am I getting that right, Mickey?
Was it Flint?
I'm not for sure. Flint Caskets, come back. Come back, Flint Caskets, and write in your question again.
Is it Flint that don't have it and we're trying to get it?
Good morning, caller. You've been bumped in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, Winters. This is Michelle Young calling.
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Miss Michelle.
Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Delrico.
Morning.
How are you?
Good morning. Who's
Michelle Young?
Michelle? What's going on? Stay in the fight, Michelle. I see you showing up and advocating and commenting. I love you. You're an awesome person.
I love you too, Delrico. But we need some help. So I just want to ask you, how do you help us address our problems? Like, we've communicated, Nikki and Winters know I come up there when I can to the council meetings, and I give them maybe 4 or 5 different problems to solve that I consider important. And I can't even get them to respond. I don't get up there and say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. I just say, this is the problem. And to me, council people and government elected officials should be problem solvers. How do we get them to stay on track? Is there something I'm missing? I mean, I just know that at most people's jobs, if you have a problem, you better get it fixed in a timely manner or put a Band-Aid on it, something. And I just don't see any attempt from the elected officials to problem solve at this time. And I'm not talking about the county. I'm just saying, period. How can we hold them accountable and put their feet to the fire? People have asked for a roof. We've asked about the water. What can we do? What are we doing wrong?
Okay, you got your pen out? Do you have your pen? Listen.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm hanging up now so he can address it, okay?
So listen to me very, very clearly.
Okay.
Listen to me very clearly. And this is not just for city council. This is for county commission. This is for whenever you have elected officials. First of all, the people are divided. The people got to come together and get organized. And that sounds cliche-ish, so I won't dwell there long, but there are mixed objectives because there's so much division. So that's one piece. The other thing is we're trying to influence elected officials with people who are not their influencers.
Say it one more time.
So we're trying to, I'll use city council for instance, no disrespect to council, they're my co-electeds, but I'm talking in general. Let's take city council, for example. We're trying to influence the city council people with people that are not their influencers. I'll tell you what I mean. Take any member of the city council, the persons that are at the meetings, saying, y'all need to stop. We're going to vote you out. Most of those people are not even people that they represent. Where are the people that influence the elected officials? I'll give you an example. If you come to my district, any of the neighborhood associations that I go to and I stand up, because it's easy to hide in the neighborhood association meeting and talk about you the victim and you're doing a great job and everybody else is so terrible, but I'm the champion for the people. And because most of the people in the association may not attend the meetings, they don't know you're not telling the truth, that you may be a part of the problem.
Right.
Go get the neighborhood association and bring them to the meeting.
And
let them see the chaos and confusion and the crisis that's going on. And now it's like Y'all know how it was when Mama used to come to school. You know, we'd be in class talking and clowning and all that.
You sit up and
then
yeah.
Who was it? It was Steve Harvey. It was somebody on the Kings of Comedy. When Mama came to class, and they'd be like, "Who Mama that is? Who Mama that is? Who Mama that is?" And they look at you, and you over there counting, and you doing your work. That's your mama,
right?
Because there are influences in the room that truly influence the influencer. You understand what I'm saying? So I think you got to get organized and identify who are those people that can get to those that you want to respond different and vote different. Michelle, that's for you and anybody else that's listening. And I'm not talking about, people that folks feel like, they bought and paid for, or maybe if that's who influenced them, maybe that's who you need to go get.
Are you telling the truth?
Amen.
You're telling the truth.
Maybe that's who you got to get. So you got to figure out who influences those that are in position and get organized and strategize in a way where you get those folks to go influence them. You know what I mean? There are certain people that can come in a meeting, cuss me out, and you just cuss me out. You don't influence me. I mean, I know you went one camp or another and you trashing me. But if you go get, Miss Danzler or Miss Gushin, or you go get folks from Colonial Drive, or you go get folks from Neighborhoods United, or you go bring them.
Right. Then you'll pay attention.
Straighten up.
Let's take this caller.
The call will start at the beep.
Good morning, caller. You've been bumped in. What's your name and where you calling from?
Well, good morning, Winston.
Good morning, Tia.
Good morning, Nikki.
Good morning, Tia.
Good morning to the A10 family crew, and good morning to you, Mr. Delrico Loyd.
Good morning.
Well, let me say this. I can remember Mr. Delrico Loyd as alternate committee over there in the plant.
Oh, wow.
And to see him jump and catapult to where he is today in the UAW is a testament to somebody who put in the work.
Mm.
And I just want to commend him for that, and commend him for, in front of the public, conducting himself as a well put together young Black man, gifted in Black. I would like to commend him for that.
Thank you.
And I would like to say, I don't believe that you left politics, because you know, as well as I know, that UAW is all about politics.
That's true. That's true.
So, and we engage in politics on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Most people just don't realize that that's what's going on.
Yes.
But I just wanted to call in to commend you in public. And I wouldn't dare get on here and bash you in public.
Yes,
but you know that you and I have had some encounter in the workspace.
Yes, ma'am.
And I can, Delrico, Mr. Loyd did take care of what needed to be taken care of. So, like I said, again, I just want to commend you for what you have amassed in the community and to stay in the community doing work for the community. I appreciate that.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Tia. Have a good one.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the love and encouragement.
Bye-bye.
That is true. She just helped me with something, and I listen to people. So when people, even if it's stuff I don't want to hear, I everything she said was fine, but I listen, and when people talk, I adjust, based on those convictions. But she's right. I will stop saying I was out of politics in that sense. I'll be clear, because for the UAW, I was the senior director of national political affairs for like 3 years.
Oh, so you was all the way in politics.
So I understand that governors' races and senators.
Hold on 1 second. You can finish.
No, I was just saying. So in that role, we have the political operations in every state. I was a senior director of national political affairs as top assistant to the president. So every check that went out to President Biden, every Senator Nancy Pelosi, it's my signature on those checks along with another signature. And we help develop our national strategy. Now, locally, the local politics, our regions, they have their local cap councils who determine who's getting endorsed and those kinds of things. So I wasn't involved at the grassroots piece, if you will, because we have local cap councils that handle that. But from a national political strategy piece, we help Obama get elected. Well, that was before me, but we certainly help President Biden get elected.
Good morning, caller. You've been bumped in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Trevor.
Hey, Trevor.
Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Winston.
Morning.
Mr. Delrico.
Salute, Chief.
So I had a second question I want to ask you real quick. And it's one I put up in comments, but I think it'd be better if I ask you via voice. That is, as a county commissioner, Flint is the biggest population center in Genesee County and the business center. How much of the county funds, general and ARPA, were allocated to Flint this past fiscal year, and how are you fighting to keep those funds proportional and in Flint?
Well, a couple things.
Thank you, Trevor. Was that it? Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Go ahead.
Listen on the show.
Okay, thank you, babe.
Thank you, Trevor. Trevor, I just have maybe just a couple numbers to give you, and then I'll just kind of talk more broad. But in terms of ARPA particularly, so the county is a big county, and although Flint is a center that has a larger population, I think there are like 63, let me think, is it 63 counties in Michigan or 63? Well, there's a number of cities and townships that are part of the county. And the county has 3 representatives that represent a portion of Flint. So I represent a large portion. Charles Winfrey represents a large portion. Commissioner Dr. Beverly Brown has a smaller portion that's like southwest of Flint. So the 3 of us represent Flint proper. And so as a county commissioner, I want to encourage folks to come to our meetings and go back and watch the replays, because Trevor, you'll be able to see and hear how I've been advocating. I've been called a radical at times by my colleagues.
When are the meetings, Delrico?
They're like tonight we have our full meeting, and then we'll have a meeting for the remainder of the month, but it's every Wednesday, and it alternates mornings, committees, and the next week it'll be the evening for our full meeting. You can contact our office for a full schedule. But here's the deal, Trevor, I've been the most vocal county commissioner, and on the commission when it comes to making sure that Flint gets its fair share. I was in the meeting one time, and there were colleagues talking about, Flint got their own ARPA money, blah, 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 and they got their own money, and our people in our neighborhoods don't want money to keep going to Flint. And I said, wait a minute, let's be very clear about one thing. Flint has a representative on this board, just like your townships and communities. And it's my job to make sure Flint get its fair share. That money for Burston particularly, it was a fight. We had workshops behind the scene because it's posted, but it's not on camera, and public can come, but it's posted, whatever. And in that meeting, we went to war. I mean, to be honest with you, it was in danger of not happening because some of my colleagues were so anti giving Flint more money, because they're suggesting that their folks don't want money coming to Flint. But then there was another colleague that said, we don't want people from Flint coming out in our neighborhood. So you need to come to the meetings and listen to what people are saying. So whether it's on the road commission issue, where I fought for the first time in history for 2 minorities to be appointed to the board, for the first time in history over 1, when they have racial discrimination and lawsuits and that kind of stuff going on, standing up for people. That issue, same thing with the ARPA issue, and so many other issues. So ARPA, a couple numbers for you, Trevor. So I'm standing up, I'm fighting on every vote, I'm being vocal and challenging my colleagues, and really standing up. Please come to the meetings, man. You'll hear me and see me do it in action. Here it is, real quick, numbers on ARPA numbers. So what we did is where's the number I'm trying to get to? Where is it? I'm trying to get to it quickly. Okay, so we received $79 million of ARPA. How much did the city receive?
94 point something.
So just keep that in mind. So the city received like 90 something just for the city of Flint. The county received 79 for the entire county. So Flint's share is not going to be 90 something million. It's 9 commissioners with cities and townships in their districts. So it's going to break it down. So Flint's money is not going to be as significant based on those numbers. Okay. So we took that money and we leverage for demolitions. We leverage 8 million of it to make it turn into 52 million. And it's countywide demolition, so $52 million. And it's 383 of these is direct ARPA funds. 1,910 demos are from a collection of funds that we leverage. Okay.
So you leveraged additional funds?
Oh yeah, we leveraged it.
Oh, you need to talk to Ernst & Young because they don't know how to do that.
Yeah, we leveraged the 8 to turn it into 52. But out of 1,910 demolitions used with the leveraged funds, how many of those properties you think are in the city of Flint? That's a lot of money, ARPA money, back in the city of Flint, just as one example. So really, the way they did it, and again, Trevor, money for ARPA, the majority of it was allocated before I got there, so I have as much say so what our ARPA monies. But what I will say is, it's my understanding that it was used toward places where there was like greatest need, like with the demos. But then there were larger infrastructure projects throughout the county so that everybody got a piece of the money, if you will.
Okay.
So we just found the $4 million of money that wasn't spent, Trevor. A fourth of that came directly to the city with the $1 million that went to Burston, and the other 3 were divided up amongst the county. So that's one example of what I've done in the seat. $4 million, $1 million came to us, the 3, they had to divide it up throughout the county.
Mickey, jump in whenever you want to. So I did have a question from one of our viewers. I think it came from Miss Sherry Allen. You being in politics, youngest person ever elected on the Flint City Council, but you've seen council. You, even though you backed away, but you still seen how Flint moves. You know Flint. Yes. You are Flint. Flint is embedded in you.
Yes, ma'am.
What can we do as a people to get our people out to vote more?
So, I mean, people have a reason to be disappointed, disenfranchised, and uninterested in voting because our people feel like, and in many instances, yes, our votes matter because our votes, we elect or don't elect whoever, but people have a reason to feel like the vote doesn't matter because when you look around our community, it hasn't been the change that our residents deserve, that our people deserve. And so I think that one way that we can encourage the residents as leaders is to do what we say we're going to do and to stand on business. I told you I'm going to use that.
Stand on business.
But to do what we say we're going to do and then, you know, make a decision that we're going to do our jobs and get away from all of this uncivil foolishness, but also try to unite so that the people can see the little results that we do have. I think at this point, people are so disenfranchised that they need to be encouraged to vote, but they're not going to be encouraged if everything looks the same. Mm-hmm. So what can we do? I think that the culture of the city, I think that the progression of the city, I think the engagement of our residents rises and falls on the culture of leadership that we have. And so I think we need to work together to improve the culture so that we motivate our residents by our actions to engage even more. Because why engage if things are going to stay the same? I hear people's hearts, but I think that things can get better. I think that things can be different.
Yeah.
He talk a good game, just another Lake Fenton plant. I don't know anybody who live in Fenton, so who's planning people from Lake Fenton? I'd love to talk more about it. It's not just about talking, it's about doing. And one thing I've been is consistent wherever I've been. Check the record. I can't hide from people.
Right, and you came on here. You said it publicly. You're not in nobody's pocket.
No.
So but you still gonna have people that's gonna believe.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Everybody's mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So type your questions in. What questions do you have?
You got to think about it. You're gonna be challenged, man. Because I'm telling you, we were told things.
Yeah.
Like when you know what I'm saying. I was told so much stuff, man. I think I got to go back and be re-educated on the Flint politics. Mm-hmm. Because I mean,
Tim Herman and Ridgeway planted him on the county board. To be honest with you, the first conversation in life that I ever had with Ridgeway White was probably 3 months after I got here as county commissioner. So, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't even get into that, but I'm seeing some of the comments. I don't mind responding, but to be honest with you, I didn't know Ridgeway White. So that's true. Tim Herman, certainly knew Tim. He was in the same role when I was on council before. And if you go back and check the records, there are times they had votes I supported. There are times that they came that I said no. There are times I went down and said, we got to do stuff. As a matter of fact, Tim Herman and the county and the chamber recently, you go back and check our meeting, I believe it was last month, they came, the chamber, and did their roll that comment back down because I want to speak right to Kiki.
Oh, well, hold on. This one right here.
Kiki, I see her name. Kiki, playing the Tim Herman Ridgeway. If you go back and watch our meeting last month, I want to encourage you to go through our meetings. It was the meeting. The meeting begins with the number 2 person at Chamber of Commerce, the chamber, rolling out their strategic plan to the county commission. And when they rolled out their strategic plan, they asked, did we have questions? During that time, Art Woodson can attest because he was sitting in the audience. I asked Art Woodson. I didn't take that time to ask him any questions about the strategic plan. My questions were, I said, I met with a number of minority business people in the community. Thank you for rolling out the plan, but I have some other questions. And I've been told by small businesses a number of things that you all do as it relates to their intellectual property, as it relates to opportunity that is not in their best interest. I'll say it that way for the sake of time. And I said, and I want to know very specific questions. Go watch the meeting. And I said, and I want to know what you're going to do to address this. And when they got done, I asked more questions. I said, now I want you to tell me, I know you're plugging businesses into big corporations, but I want to know what you're doing to help small businesses in this community, minority particularly, but everybody, get meaningful contracts with businesses that allows them to do more than to buy paper and supplies and buy gas. I said, I want to know what you're doing to help plug them into larger contracts to help them to live and thrive. And so those were very tough questions. And at the end of that meeting, I got a call asking if I wanted to be a part of the board because there was a seat where it's a representative seat.
On the chamber?
Yeah,
board?
on the chamber where there's a representative seat. This call didn't come right from the chamber. It came from another entity that has a seat that heard the interview and stuff like that. And I told them, I said, I cannot accept that. Thank you for the call, but I'm not interested because I cannot be seen. And I'm saying this publicly.
Right.
Tim and all them, they may see this. Tim, he's been gracious, and we've been able to have tough conversations and stuff like that. And I believe that they have done some good. But I told him, I said, I can't be seen as the person carrying the water for the chamber or any other organization. I need to be able to ask tough questions and to be able to hold people accountable. And then I got.
So they thought they was. I mean, this is just me saying they thought we got to put him on the board and keep him quiet.
But I didn't. I'm saying this publicly because I represent the people. And then there was a meeting with the chamber. They asked me to meet with them, which I appreciated because they wanted to address the concerns that I had more directly. Watched the meeting. It was a tough question. Ask Art Woodson. I wish he was on here. And when I met with them, they had a presentation, and I said, I really don't need a presentation. I said, what I need is just direct response and commitment that these issues are going to be addressed. And then I address with Tim Herman. I'm saying this publicly. I'm an open book. And I said, and let me be very clear. I said, I know that you all may not have liked the questions. I said, but one thing I want to make clear, because I hear what people saying in the community, I want people to be clear that I'm not y'all plan. And he said, what? People are saying that? I said, yeah, people say, y'all put me here and this, that, and another. And I said, and so I said, you can handle it. You're a big boy. And he smiled and he laughed. And I said, but I have to be clear with people when and especially when the public is watching me, that I'm standing up for the people. And so, I didn't know Ridgeway White. We've had a couple conversations, particularly about, some of the school properties. I have concerns about Central High School and other schools that are in my district. I like to see housing developments. I'd like to see new schools built. Been in conversation with folks at the school board, the superintendent, Mike Clag, different ones on the board. So those have been my interactions with Ridgeway. I don't know him personally. He's never wrote me a check. And you're not going to find Tim Herman writing a check. And I'm saying this publicly, and he may see it.
Delrico, how does that make you feel as a young, educated Black man who has worked his way from foster care to the top? And it seems like when we talk about eating our own and how we are our own worst enemy, when you take a white man and sit him in this same chair, oh, he worked for it, he earned it. But a Black man and you sit him in this chair, somebody planted you here.
I think you don't hear that as much from people outside our race. We do that to each other.
Yeah. And
that's why I say, a lot of people attacking and that kind of stuff. I don't get into that because I'm not going to catch up. I'm not going to be able to catch up, and it's going to be a never-ending cycle of these attacks. I know when I was on city council, when I got on council, 22 years old. I was attacked from different political factions at that time because folks were upset that I wasn't their pick for the spot. So I've been dealing with this since I came on the scene. Same thing with the county commission. I'm getting attacked. Then all of the mayor discussions. You know, folks encouraged to run for mayor, and some want me to. And you know, there's some there's some people that are anti-Delrico for whatever. And if you put them in the room and you ask the question, "What has Delrico done to you?" They cannot say. And if I have, tell me so I can repent. That's what the Bible tells me to do. But I'm not aware of anything I've directed. Most of the people that are attacking me are people that supported an opponent I had in the past, that funded their campaigns, worked on their campaigns, that kind of deal, and are upset that I haven't been beholden to them. I can't do that. I'm beholden to the Lord. You know, I'm not even beholden to my family. I'm not beholden to anybody. I'm beholden to God, and then you know I stand on business with everybody else. So it's just unfortunate negativity. I met with a lot of people, talked with a lot of people. Just to try to clear air with folks to try to understand if there are any concerns. What I've heard from people is, he arrogant, well, I mean, you don't know me for real. How you know I'm arrogant and we ain't never had no conversation? Right. I mean, arrogant about what? That's not, so I could go on and on. It's unfortunate. I know it won't stop, but I'm not swayed by it, honestly. There's enough good people in this community who watch me, supported me, love me, pray for me, allow me to be their pastor, their leader, their teacher, and that kind of thing, that know who Delrico is. And God knows who I am. I know, more importantly, who I am, and that's what I stand on.
Period.
So,
Delrico, what can we do to get the young people more engaged? You're still young, 39 years old, started off in politics when you were 22. Mm-hmm. Your whole life has been focused around politics. Mm-hmm. How can we get more young people in the Flint community engaged?
The culture is so toxic. People who would be good don't want to go near it. I mean, listen, people ask me about running for mayor all of the time. But let me tell you what else people ask me all the time. Why in the world you want to be in this? Right. And I talked about earlier my conviction and what Flint means to me and those kinds of things. But it's let me tell you, the blessing of being elected in this community is literally being able to help people and make things better if that's what you really want to do. Outside of that, the rest of it isn't worth it. And that's why it's difficult to get young people and even seasoned people to get involved. You say, who's going to be the next mayor? Well, good people, who's going to be the next council person? Well, you can't get them to do it because everybody's looking like, why am I going to do that? Why am I going to go down there to try to help only to get attacked and beat up all the time? Uh-huh. I mean, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why I don't take my wife to a lot of stuff with me, because I've been there before. Folks will be attacking her and that kind of stuff. My wife sees stuff, and you know how wives can be. Yeah. My wife running for mayor of Flint or mayor of Saginaw. Great question.
Southfield.
Of Southfield.
Now you ain't got to answer that. We gonna stick to the script.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Distracted.
Yeah, don't get caught up, because they done killed us starting. I'm talking about, look, from some of the same people who wanted to burn you down. Yeah. They burnt us. I'm talking about, man, we've been talked about so bad and dragged. I don't even know why we show up. Like I was sharing with you earlier, how I got that picture sent to me. When I tell you these are some low down scoundrels, and it's people that look like me and you.
Yeah. So many negative things, but there's a lot of good in the community too. I mean, there are good things going on. There are amazing people. Everybody who's in an elected position is not out to tear the city down and that kind of thing. Right. And I think that, if we want the city to light up, more of us just got to try to be lights, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Very true. So I seen old Joe Sunday, and I see Tia's question up there. Can you give us some insight on why we should vote for old Joe, President Biden?
So I've had an opportunity to spend time with Joe Biden, President Biden. If you watch my page, or if you watch my LinkedIn, I mean, Joe Biden, he spends a lot of time with us at the UAW. We spend a lot of time with him. We have an office in DC that I'm in and out of as well. I've rode in motorcades. I've been in private settings and meetings and dinner and that kind of stuff. And you watch my page, you'll see those interactions. I just had a video where I was outside of Air Force One and we were pulling off in the motorcade and that kind of thing. But Joe Biden, he has a speech impediment, as we all know, and he is an older gentleman. but Joe is still sharp as well.
Okay.
And he's a decent and good and kind man. And he really has done some great things for the country and has a heart to do great things for the country. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I know that, President Trump was president already, and we saw the division in the country just as we see within our own community. And one of the reasons why we're supporting Joe Biden, because he literally has stood up for working people and the less than amongst us. And we believe he'll continue to. I mean, the chances of Joe getting reelected and then turning his back on people are slim to none. I mean, he 80-something years old. I mean, you see what you get. So I support him because he's a decent and kind man, but then he's done some phenomenal things. And more specifically, he's the only U.S. president that ever came and stood with us on the picket line at the UAW. I was on the picket line. I was there. There's a picture on my page. You see me with my thumb pointing at the motorcade president at his car. He's sitting in the car to get ready to pull off. I was that close with Secret Service surrounding the car. He came out there and stood with us. And it was Secret Service said it was one of the most challenging U.S. missions that they had because it was like out in the open kind of area where it was no way for them to shield him. But he did it. He put his life on the line to stand with us. And that means something. So the UAW, we've endorsed Joe Biden. I support Joe Biden. And I believe that he's the best candidate that we have available.
Okay.
The best candidate that's going to be in the general election for the job. Certainly there's a lot of people that could maybe be an even greater president, but he's one of our options. And he's the best of the two, I believe.
Okay. All right. Mickey, you got some more?
No, I'm just, I'm just looking at, like he's saying, the division. It's just like Flint gotta, they do need a uniter, because right now, I don't see it getting no better until we can get somebody that can unite. And I'm gonna say it again, the Crips and the blood of this political thing in Flint. Until they can get these gangs together, because this is what this really is gangs. Because, like I say, you got them on this side.
The city is split down the middle.
Yeah,
one side Weaver, one side Neely.
Because right now, you don't know who was telling the truth. That's what I'm calling it. The conflict is like all the stuff we was told, and have you sitting here and you like, nah, that ain't true. And then you seeing the other things, it's like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
To me, it's really terrible when you seeing, because I can say this, both sides have lied.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like both sides have lied, but it's like they supporters are so dug in. They so far from saying the wrong. Even if people did do good, they look at that little ounce of good they did and can't see the wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where we at right now. It's like we're gonna keep. I don't see nothing until we can get them out.
Yeah, I keep seeing comments about the picture posted, maybe of your mom.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, and and let me, if I could just say this, I don't know who posted it. I haven't seen it. I just keep seeing it in the comments. There's some things that ought to be sacred and off limits. I'm gonna say that, and if what I'm seeing in the comments is true, it's unfortunate that happened to you, and those are the kind of things we really need to get away from.
That's
in this
not
community.
politics.
Yeah, that's but for some people it is politics because they don't know the proper, helpful, and healthy way to be engaged in politics. We got a lot of people think they know politics, but they don't, and it shows and how negative. I mean, Eric and I did it. We talked about it. Matter of fact, Daryl Buchanan, who ran against me, that was my most formidable opponent. When he was no longer city administrator, he ran in the first ward, and that was a tough race. I mean, there are people that gave me a check donating to the campaign, that took the check out of my hand when they knew he was running. And I'm not saying that's anti-Daryl, because he and I have a good relationship, but there was a point in time where there was a church available looking for a pastor in our community. I'm talking about politics and how it don't have to be negative, where I received other phone calls, but one phone call I received was from Daryl Buchanan, and he, for a particular church in the community that will remain nameless, where he reached out to me and said, this particular church I heard is looking for a pastor. And I've watched you, I know you. He says, and I believe, and I won that election. He says, I believe that you will be a great pastor. And I actually applied to be pastor of that particular church because of the call that I received from him and confirmation from God. I didn't get to church, but a loss is not always a loss. Sometimes a no from God is really a yes from God. And it's a part of his divine plan. And so I'm just using that. I talked about Eric as opponent in election, general election. I talked about Daryl Buchanan as opponent in general election, and he was connected to folks in this community who,
Right.
I've had much, I'm not I'm not one of their favorite people and that kind of thing. But what I'm saying is these were opponents showing that kind of love because of the way I interacted with them. And so this is for everybody in Flint. The politics does not have to be as bad as they are. It doesn't have to be uncivil. Again, if you don't remember anything I said today, I don't care. My story, I don't care. You don't have to care about that. You don't have to believe anything I said. You don't have to believe I'm being genuine. All of this could be for show. I could have thought all this up last night. Whatever you want to believe, I ask you to give me a chance and get to know me for yourself and watch me and follow me for yourself. And then, let the Lord lead you on how you feel. But if you don't take anything else from saying, what I will say is, we don't have to remain how we are in this community. Flint can get better.
Yes, we can, Tony. Okay, yes, we can. Mickey, anything else?
Nah, man, listen, I enjoyed the show. You know what I'm saying? To see this because it's like, it's fresh. People can have their opinion. You know what I'm saying? People gonna have their opinion anyway, regardless of what I say. Yeah. I just know where we at. We need change.
Absolutely.
Because this not getting better. If we stay on the same train, to me, it's just my opinion. I feel like we're gonna end up in the plane gonna crash. And it ain't gonna be that many survivors.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. You're right.
I don't know how we got into Biden, but the comments blowing up about him. Yeah. Listen, I don't agree with everything Biden's done. The whole Israel piece, I'm not getting into that, but I have my own convictions about that, and I've spoken about that in different spaces. And he's not a perfect president. I'm only talking about there's one or two people is going to be president of these ununited United States.
Right. Okay,
and it's going to be Donald Trump or it's going to be Joe Biden. And I'm responsible. I'm voting, and I got to I had to decide who I'm going to support. And my reasons are my reasons for supporting them, despite the differences. Our president, Sean Fain, has talked to him in the Beast, driving down the street, about the conflict in the Middle East and our position on it. But anyway, the organization's position. But I don't debate nobody's position politically. If you don't like Biden,
see how you cut me off.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's your choice. And
one quick thing while we're talking about Biden. Do you know of anything, or can you specifically pinpoint things that he has done for the Black community?
Yes. I mean, look at what's happened with unemployment, for instance. Unemployment in the country because of how they not only invested in business but provided opportunity for people. Unemployment is down. There's still a lot of people unemployed, but there's a lot of unemployed people that's not trying to get employed.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some cousins. I ain't telling you who they are, where they are, because they're whatever. They ain't looking for no job. But that I want to talk about what they done with even trying to make college more affordable and helping to forgive debt. Everybody's debt hasn't been forgiven, but I know people who has. That makes a difference between life and death in terms of how they treat their family and that kind of thing. I like that he hasn't been. I know the Israel piece, and that's a separate discussion. I'm not getting into that. I'm not going nowhere near that. But I like the way that he's the spirit of diplomacy that they have had as well, because it's also important about how safe our country is. He hasn't been, picking fights for folks and going out saying stuff crazy that makes us look bad. I talk about working class people, the middle class, which the UAW helped create, and we're helping to maintain, which is a huge piece. And the support he gave us, even in the strikes that we have with GM, Ford, and Chrysler, no other president has came out and spoke up for working people the way that he did, even against those corporations. I mean, even when we were in negotiations, there were people from the president's cabinet who weren't at the bargaining table with us, but they were in our office meeting with us and also meeting with the company as well. I mean, the Secretary of Labor and other secretaries where the White House opened up their doors and said, whoever you need, whoever you want, you got them. And they did, staying in Detroit, meeting with us for weeks on end. And then coming out to that picket line, we were able to get those contracts, not just because our representatives and the courage of our membership, but because of the backing and support that we had of the Biden administration. And I can go on and on, but those are very significant pieces. what we did in those contracts, the contracts we negotiated, raised the standard for working people in those entities. People are winning contracts all over this country because look at what the USW is doing. You see Sean Fain, UAW, you see what we're doing. And we've had the president's support, so that's huge. Even the transnational companies in the South, they're making more money now. We're trying to organize them. They're making more money because of the contracts we negotiated, and we wouldn't have been able to get those contracts without the support of the Biden administration. Trump would not have given us the support. The Republicans would not have given us the support. They said Detroit should have went bankrupt. So would have went to plants. So would have went to small businesses around the plants. So would have went the suppliers. So would have went the medical entities, the insurances that we have. So I could go on and on. There's a number of reasons why I believe that he should be supported. People are mad at him, but if he was strong and if he was talking, not having the gaps that he's had, and his mind ain't as sharp as it used to be.
Mine ain't either.
Yeah, mine. I mean, I forget stuff, but that's not an excuse for him. But when Donald Trump was there, there's some stuff that Trump did that was good too. You know, so I'm not just trashing Trump, but what I'm saying is when it came to standing up for working people in this country, nobody can suggest and stand on business and say he stood up as much as Biden has. So that's why we've endorsed him. That's why I support him. And, you know, it's going to be the will of the people. It's going to be the will of the Lord, and whatever that is, we have no choice but to live with it until such a time in the future, just as the city of Flint and the county of Mount Morris Township, when we had the opportunity to choose other leaders that will stand on business and do what the residents believe we should be doing.
Well, I got one last question. I know everybody that's watching us is thinking about it, but they scared to ask. Who brought Lear here?
Who brought Lear here?
Lear.
So a couple pieces. So when businesses come to communities, yes, there are various conversations about different tax incentives and those kinds of things. But the main reason why Lear came is because the number 2 at Lear, who ultimately became the CEO, is from this community. And I know firsthand, I can't reveal the sources because I can't tell you everything.
Okay.
I'll tell you what you need to know. You know,
right.
and what's important to know, but I can't, certain things I can't, you know, I won't disclose because this is private sentiment. But there was a leader at Lear, just to be honest with you, who said, even before conversation started, that before his tenure was up, he wanted to do a facility in Flint in his home community. So that's why Lear looked to do a facility in Flint. That's firsthand information. The second piece to that is I used to represent Lear as when I was an international rep here serving this community.
Oh, did
at
you?
the UAW. Yes,
Oh,
as a
yeah.
matter of fact, I negotiated along with that leadership, the local bargaining leadership. I led those negotiations where we eliminated the second tier in the first Lear facility. It's one of the first independent power supplier agreements that we eliminated. The second tier, Delrico Loyd led those negotiations. That plant was in Rochester Hills. Well, Rochester Hills, who used to work more so in the area, I think out in Fenton, those employees had the rights because of the contracts we negotiated and such, and things that happen later on, they end up with the rights. Other people was involved, so I can't take full credit. I don't do that. I don't take full credit for stuff. It was a bunch of people involved, not just me. But they had the rights to transfer into those jobs here at Lear. So you had a lot of people from Rochester Hills that moved back here. Go stand outside the gate and ask them to that plant members I used to represent. So the UAW was a big part of that because there are members, there are contracts. So we had to make sure the wages was right. And it was in a way that the company wanted to do it. So Lear, UAW, first and foremost, is the reason why that plant is here. Then you have the other partners that help to put together packages. So you had the Chamber of Commerce who's involved. You know, if you're the mayor of the city of Flint, you're going to be involved in those conversations at that standpoint because they're coming in your city. There's a courtesy. There are certain conversations you're trying to see what you can do because you're trying to lure them here, trying to encourage them here. So you had different partners. City council, not as involved, to be honest. They wouldn't be as involved as the mayor would be, right? Or the chamber at that time. But certainly if there's something to be voted on by the city council, then they support the project by voting to support, you know, whatever that tax abatement is or those resources.
Right.
So it's all of these tentacles as a part of larger projects. And obviously, if you're the mayor, you take credit for anything that happens in your city. If you're the president, you take credit for anything that happens in your nation. If you're the governor, you go to any press conference and take credit because, yes, everybody's involved at some point. But the reason why Lear is here is number one, because there was an executive leader in Lear Corporation with ties to Flint who committed to himself that he wanted to do a plant here. And then those conversations with the UAW. Okay, so if we do a plant here, what is this contract going to look like? What can we do to make this where it will work for all of us? So then we got to do that. So that's behind the scenes before he's coming saying, hey, he's playing the delicate dance and he's saying, hey, I think I want to invest in Flint. What y'all going to do for me? So that's before he even decided that it's going to happen. Now you got the chamber, now you got the mayor, you got all the partner entities, everybody come together to get the deal done. And it does take everybody to get the deal done. So it's not just one person that can take credit stuff. It's not one person. It's a collective.
Stay tuned for a live later.
Same thing with Ashley Capital or whatever. That was a project that was on deck before I came in office. Another project. It's a collective. What they're getting ready to do in Mundy Township. There's conversations at the county, conversations at the chamber.
What do you think about that? Do you have any
to be
opinion
honest,
you want to give right now?
To be honest, I don't know enough about it.
Me either. Okay.
Yep. I've heard, because it's in another district, I've heard, some conversation about it. I saw the news alerts like everybody else got it.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to getting a brief on it, but I don't know enough about it to talk about it.
Okay. Mickey, anything? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, A10 listeners and viewers. Please share the show out. We appreciate all of you that came with us today on this journey. We got to know a lot about this young man right here. One thing that stood out for me the most was you don't always have to be a product of your environment. Mm-hmm. He came from the trenches and he worked his way up. So if we look like him, let's help uplift him instead of tearing him down. Mm-hmm. That's for the older ones, the middle-aged ones, and the younger ones.
Yeah.
Delrico, Mickey, you want to close us out?
There's so much I can say, but I'd rather just pray for the city. Is that all right? And it's not a play on religion. I just want to say, Father, God, in Jesus' name, that's my religion. You pray in whatever prayer is your religion. If you're not religious or part of a religious organization, no disrespect is intended. Everybody's respected. God loves everybody. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you so much for this opportunity to come by and to have conversation, to discuss, to be able to fellowship with each other. I pray even more. Thank you for what you've done for our community today. And I pray for every leader, every resident, every activist. I pray for every vulnerable person in our community, that you will bless and keep us according to your personal will, your perfect will. I pray right now that you'll touch every leader, including myself, the city council, county, every elected official, Lord, and just give us your heart and your spirit. Cause us to align up with what will be productive and what's best for our community. Lord, take our egos out of it and remind us that it's all about you and it's all about the people and making the community better. Lord, before we ask you for anything else, we thank you for all of the good things you've already done. Bless Mickey, Winters, 810, all of their affiliates, and cause them to continue to have success in you. Amen.
Amen. I received that prayer. Y'all receive it too. Thank you, Delrico. It's been a pleasure.